Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast. Week 2, boys. We've come off an absolute lightning. I called at the end of last episode the best week 1 I've seen ever. Let's hope week 2 lives up to the same billing, Danny.
Yes, we're hoping we're going to have the best week 2 of all time, or is it going to be better than week 1? I can't actually see it being better than week 1, but if we can knock on the door, even get halfway there, we're in for a good week of football.
I don't think your week 2 could be any better than what week 1 was.
No, that's right. We're just sort of cruising now to the end of the season. Just the wins, wins in our back. It's all easy now.
Take another game like
No,
that?
I'm hoping for a nice, gentle game this week for the Bills.
Now.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting, but I think I'm not too stressed about Bills Jets. I'm not that stressed about our division. Who knows? I could be saying something else when we.
Dan Muggleton said that he thought the AFC East was soft, so.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true, but I think at the top of that
the other
division,
three
okay.
are soft.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good week because it starts off, as all weeks should, with the Packers Commanders. It's in Green Bay as well. What a Thursday night game, I think.
Yeah, tough spot for the Commanders to go into. The Commanders had quite a comfortable win, but they were playing the Giants and they went out and did everything that they absolutely needed to. But going into Lambeau Field is something else.
Yes, we are favourite by 1, I think.
3.5.
3.5. 3.5 favourite. Shit.
But is that a big surprise after the first week?
I'm thinking it should be more, really.
It's so fascinating. Like the Packers were highly rated, but people were not saying like guaranteed Super Bowl contender. But the Micah Parsons trade has changed the story around the Packers. I think you could say changed the belief within the Packers that they're not an upstart anymore. They're a genuine contender, youngest roster in the league. And to
3
be
years
that
in
good,
a row. How do you do that?
How do you do that?
Just keep on drafting.
Yeah, get rid of the top.
Ship the oldies out and keep drafting the younger.
Yeah, I think just by having Aaron Rodgers, they were the oldest roster in the league previously, so they've done well.
No. Where is he? Steelers.
Now the oldest. But they can use public transport for free, so that's good.
Commanders, you say, they knocked off Russell Wilson, so that goes big towards him missing halfway through the season for you.
Yeah, which is what we want. We want to see the Jackson Dart get out there and start flinging some balls. But the Commanders, having Debo made a massive impact. He had 7 catches, a whole bunch of yards, and went for a touchdown as well in his
rushing touchdown.
A rushing touchdown.
Yeah, in his first game. Does the Commanders secondary have enough to really be stopping, a dual wide receiver threat? Yes, okay, Michael Parsons is going to put so much pressure on Daniels, but yes, their passing game, I think the Packers really need to be focusing on.
Well, we did last week. I kept St. Brown relatively quiet. Even if he did, they were quiet overall. And the rushing, I think, Jaden Daniels a little bit more nimble than Jared Goff. I reckon that's where we might struggle a little bit.
Yeah, it should be more of a handful than the Lions were last week for the Packers. And Debo, I think if you go back to our season preview, I was saying Debo's going to be a massive factor this season. That's my hot take proven correct there.
I wish you told us that when we were betting.
Yeah. That's why Dad doesn't bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a game where we're going to get far more of an idea about exactly where the Packers are at and exactly where the Commanders are. Exactly where the Commanders are as well. Yeah.
It's a soft start. It's a soft landing. Packers coming in a bit more hardened after a bigger game. So we obviously know who I'm going.
You can't not bet against the Packers at home, I think, especially this early in the season and with everything that they've done. Going out and beating that Lions team, maybe the Lions didn't show up, but maybe they did. And the Packers are just that. Oh God, that hurts to say. The Packers actually are at that point where they're going to be knocking on the door of that NFC. Maybe. But I've gone the Packers.
I did love the acid coming out when you sent me a message saying, fuck, the Packers look good. Charles?
It's just foolish to tip against the Packers after what we saw in week 1, but also just what we know of them and where they're at. We're yet to see what the big flaws are, what the weaknesses are. We're getting to know these teams, but you'd say the Packers at this stage you have more confidence in than the Commanders. But it's going to be a good game.
I wouldn't be it's a typical game that we'll lose. So...
And also, I think you will be I think you'll be more worried for more of the game than you were last week. I think you will be stressed right to the end this time around. And the Commanders, one thing we know about them, close games, they're good. Under pressure, Jaden Daniels does not get phased. He enjoys it, and he can rely on his legs when all other options are failing right at the death knell.
Let's not forget the giant bomb that he threw to save the game last season as well. Like, so if he has a Hail Mary in his arsenal as well. So if it is a 3-point game, which I reckon it should be, I think that line should be 2.5, not 3.5. I reckon it'll be bang on a 3-point difference in this game. And if the Commanders have that ball in that last drive, Jaden Daniels is someone to fear. I know he's only in his second year, but if he has that ball on that final drive, I'd be nervous.
That is our first down Friday bet, which we'll talk about later on. But yeah, I think we do get the job done. Being in Lambeau is a big thing. Like you said, coming in Thursday night, the bright lights early in the season. Hopefully this is the start of Jaden Daniels' second season slump. Because last week definitely wasn't. He played, didn't have to play lights out. You know, it was like 200 or something in the air, but just controlled the game. They never looked in too much trouble. Hopefully we can put him in a bit more trouble. I wonder, does Micah sit around that 30 snaps again, or does he go up?
Well, you think if he's only just had an epidural just to get through week 1, he's not going to be playing an excessive amount of snaps.
But it was talked like, you know, I can take my time. I'm just going to get into it. We're here for the long haul. So I reckon they'll keep him on a snap count for a while.
Yeah, for sure. And he made enough of an impact on that small snap count. So why increase it? Why risk his chance of injury? Why risk losing him for the whole season on a week 2 game?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying him enough not to ruin him in the first few games.
Yeah. The next game, it's not a Monday night, Sunday night game, but I think game of the week, if the Packers Commanders is a blowout, like I hope. Game of the week, just so many storylines coming out. It's a 6:25 Eastern Seaboard time. The 1-0 Eagles versus at the 0-1 Chiefs. The Chiefs would be... I can't remember the last time they were underdogs at home.
Yeah, very hard to go.
It's a 1 point
Chiefs
line,
Kingdom.
but they're underdogs. That's huge.
Which is insane because, like, as we spoke about in our review episode, the Eagles realistically, their defense wasn't there against the Cowboys. The Cowboys came out and, put heaps of points up on them, and if it wasn't for that big lightning break, I really don't know what would have happened if, the Dak and the CeeDee Lamb connection actually had fully been there, if it had been taking all those balls in. Like, that game could have realistically been a flip of the coin. So the fact that the Eagles are going in favourites, I guess coming off the Chiefs' loss against the Chargers, but that was in Brazil. That is like a big question mark. I think the Chargers definitely outplayed the Chiefs, but a lot of that had to do with Justin Herbert. But the one thing Justin Herbert did really well was use his feet and his arm, and that's what we saw with Hurts. He went out and was really dominant on his feet. Yes, he didn't have his connections with AJ Brown, but he played a pretty complete game as far as through the air, on the ground, and passing off to Saquon. His offense should only improve from there, and that was enough to get past the Cowboys. But this is a Super Bowl rematch. There's so much to the story of this game. The Chiefs, like the Eagles ruined the Chiefs three-peat. They don't forget about that. They made a documentary about that, and the Eagles went out and ruined that. And you're playing in Kansas City. It's going to be tough. It is going to be very, very tough for the Eagles to go in there and beat the Chiefs, I think.
Even though you're favourites.
I think a little bit of it is going to depend on what we know about Worthy's injury. If he is out for this game, if he's out for longer, because we've got Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster as their big target wide receivers. Kelsey, obviously, but he wasn't back to vintage Kelsey last week. I do think that it's a depleted offense. The two biggest weapons for the Chiefs are not there. So it will actually just be interesting to see what they can mount from an offensive point of view.
Will have a big say in that.
Yeah, Pacheco had a really quiet game though in the first game against the Chargers. Like, they didn't lean back because Worthy went out. They didn't just lean back and rely on Pacheco. But I guess the Chargers have a really strong run defense, and what we noticed from the Eagles-Cowboys game is that the defense, the players that we lost, had a greater impact than I thought they were going to. I thought the rookies would have come in and come out firing like the rookies of the year of the past, but maybe they're just going to need a couple more weeks to play into it. If you need a couple more weeks to play into it, you do not want to be playing the Chiefs.
That is true. I think there's a chance, though, that after this weekend, we're having a conversation about where are the Chiefs and what are the Chiefs.
Yeah,
So I think that's also
0-2 is
0-2 Chiefs is a definite possibility. Yeah, it's Arrowhead. Yeah, they lost last week and they've got something to prove. And it's never an easy, like the Chiefs are never going to be an easy team to beat. But you're the Eagles. Like you can actually absolutely do it. And we could be having the conversation about, is the dynasty over next week?
Well, yeah, I would absolutely love for that to be the conversation. It's just, to me, anytime you're playing the Chiefs in Arrowhead, it's just a nervous situation. I think that should be for any team going in there, let alone if you beat them in the Super Bowl the year prior. There's just too much of a storyline that's going to be there. We know Taylor Swift's going to be there. Travis Kelce loves to perform when she's there. So I just feel like...
Is that guaranteed?
Was she at the Super Bowl? She was at the Super Bowl.
She was at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, she was at the Super Bowl. But he loves to perform when she's there.
Speaking of the Chiefs, I saw this the other day. They have a tough start to the season. Like they've got Eagles this week. I know they've got the Giants, but then Ravens, Jags, Lions, Raiders, Commanders, Bills. Like there's only two games in there. Like they'll be going in favourites for sure.
Well, particularly if they're the 0-2 Chiefs come Monday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they could be 2-6 or 7.
And then that's a massive turnaround. That is, we're talking end of dynasty.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, I hate to think it.
You're not going to be...
Yeah, of course I'm going on the Eagles. Like, I'm...
Charles?
Chiefs. There you go.
Gone from 0-2 Chiefs to picking them.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about the genuine difficulty that the Eagles were having stopping Dak and CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, but it was Dak, CeeDee Lamb, but then you also had George Pickens on the other side, and Ferguson played really well.
So you think the lack of weapons is going to level it out? See, now you're just talking me out of my pick.
Because are we not
Could
saying
be a nil-all draw.
Are we not saying that CD and George Pickens are better than?
Actually, do you know what? I am going to change
Dak
it.
is
No,
better
but
than
I'm going
Patrick?
to. No one's saying that. Don't be silly. But
Dak says it.
yeah, does he? In the quiet moments, does he? I was just going to say, I changed my pick because I got no backbone, but also you really didn't use your receiving core properly at all last game. It was almost like
And
you were
Chargers
choosing not to show too much.
Chargers were able to throw it all around.
That's right. So yeah, I think the Eagles can do it. I think
I'm going to say the Chiefs just because I think 40-6 is going to be buried into them this week, and they got to come out. They got at home. There's so much to prove. So I think it's a 3-point game either way. It's coming down to whoever has the ball last kind of situation.
And they'll be fired up, and that's why I'm nervous.
Yeah.
You can tell the whole way through me talking about this game. I'm just rambling because it's just nerves, all nerves.
Monday Night Football, Tuesday our time. We actually have 2 games, 9 a.m. and midday, which is what a great way to spend a Tuesday.
Beautiful.
For those that are able to watch it.
Call in sick now, guys.
That's it.
That's your
the 9 a.m.
audio.
game, I think, is really juicy. We've got the 1-0 Bucs at the 0-1 Texans. Now, I was pretty high on the Texans before in our previews. They did not look amazing. And the Bucs, 1-0, really, they scraped the win.
Yeah, so they missed a point after touchdown, which would have sealed the game pretty much. And the Falcons had a chance, and they got all the way back up into field goal position and then missed a field goal. It was like the most crazy turn of events in the end of a fourth quarter for like a divisional game between these two teams, where the Bucs managed to just hold on, but the defense almost didn't do enough to stop them getting in field goal position. The Falcons were settling for that field goal, and it was very clear that was their game plan, and they did exactly that. So the Bucs defense is definitely going to have to improve. But then you look back at the Texans, they couldn't get any points on the Rams. They weren't nowhere near where we were expecting them to be offensively.
But is that the Rams? Like, everyone's been so high on the Rams, and I haven't been sure why. Puka Nacua, 10 catches, 120 plus. Like,
He's quietly
could be the GOAT.
he actually could be the best receiver in the league. And almost still underrated. I don't know why.
Well,
he remains underrated until your team has played against him and you've just gone like, how did he get another catch? And it's crazy what he
I
manages
remember
to do.
it was the Bills game, like something. How did you catch that?
Crazy. He's so good. But the the Rams defense is also very good. They are a very well coached football team, and I wasn't surprised at all that the Texans struggled. My deep hot take about that Texans Rams game was there was a shot of CJ Stroud on the bench, and I almost thought he'd had work done.
Oh.
That's my sneaky. So what I would say is watch this game. If there's a cutaway shot of Stroud on the bench, I was like, have you had a bit of filler? Have you had a bit of have you plumped your lips? I don't know what it is, but he looked like he'd had some work done.
So you saw? I got my eyes across the stats, not the game. How was Stafford's back?
Stafford was very happy to be there. His back did not seem to be bothering him at all, and he was very the Rams were happy and they were rolling. Now, will that be it for the back? Sometimes a back it's acute, particularly a disc issue. It's acute for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and then it comes good for 6 months. Is it one of those?
Of back boys, isn't it?
Yeah,
you boys know.
Oh, big time back Rozzy.
I'm activating right now. But it's possible that he can put it behind him. But he looked fine. He was throwing the ball well, and the Rams are serious business, definitely.
I think I said healthy Stafford, Rams are good. So I didn't expect them to be. I think Devontae played his part as well.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp only 2 catches for the Seahawks. Seahawks didn't look great, I don't think, off the top of my head. So I think they've won out of that little trade as well.
I think they have, and Adams had some good catches too, some really nice plays, and he's exactly the right
gun second receiver.
Yeah, God, as a wide receiver too,
that is huge.
Very lucky to have it, and also McVay is exactly the kind of coach that can really scheme up to get the most out of. There will be games that are Adams games, and there'll be games that are Nakua games, and that is going to be very hard to defend.
Scheme against, 100%. The Texans 2-point favourites at home, Danny.
You know what? Give me the Bucs. I believe in Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay team. And I reckon last week when they're playing the team that's in the division, it's always going to be a bit tougher. I think the Bucs are going to come out and fire a whole lot more than they previously did. The Texans didn't show enough last week, so I'm going to take the Bucs as the underdogs.
Charles?
I'm taking the Bucs, but because I actually think whilst the Bucs are 1-0, I think they come in, they would be feeling close to like they'd had a loss last week. They did not play the way that
Godwin was
they should be
laid
playing.
out.
Godwin was laid out, and they were trying to take. Was it Todd Bowles? The coach was trying to take positives from it in the press conference afterwards. But I think they will come in with something to prove. The Texans also have something to prove. I think the Bucs are the ones capable of proving it.
Yep, I agree. I'm on the Bucs. I think the Texans. I know I was very high on them in the preseason, but I looked the worst of the two teams. So I think, I don't think their bounce back is as big this week. So 2-point favourites. Surely that's just purely because it's at home.
Yeah, home field advantage in any game is should lend you to be the favourites. Sorry, Chiefs.
Because Penix played pretty well in that Bucs game as well, where it kind of leads me to think that the Bucs, maybe they thought they were getting a week 1 Penix where he was kind of a bit more ready than what they expected.
Oh, for sure. I don't think they planned enough for how good Penix played.
Some other notable games that I thought, we mentioned this, the Bears at the Lions. Is this the Lions?
This needs to be a Lions bounce back game. Like, obviously they got done pretty well by the Packers. They definitely didn't play their style of football, their version of football. They just didn't look like the Detroit that we have now known to come and love. So it's at home. They need to bounce back and they need to destroy the Bears.
Jags, Bengals.
This is going to be interesting. The Bengals very lucky to be 1-0. Barely took care of the Browns. Notorious slow starters,
Very slow.
But Burrow and
Is that
Chase.
his first win in week 1, Burrow?
I think he was 4-1. I think he's
Won once.
Yeah, he's won once. It was like his second first round win.
Yeah.
But Burrow and Chase, and everyone who had them in their fantasy knows this painfully well.
Yeah, 4 points.
They were not what they were meant to be. Like that, and so will they warm up and get moving? We'll see. But there was nothing to feel confident about the Bengals in the way that they were lucky to get over the Browns. I think the Jags could cause them trouble. The Jags have got a good defense. They've got a good D-line. Their secondary is really strong. If this is a Bengals struggling to find their feet, as we've seen in previous seasons, this could be a dangerous game for them.
We've got the Pats, Dolphins. Pats looked a bit flat, getting done by the Raiders. Dolphins looked roadkill. So it's a real... I think the Pats get the job done here, even though it's down in at the Dolphins, NFC East game, AFC East game.
It's so funny. I want to know what time the game is on because...
I reckon it's a 3 a.m. game for us.
3 a.m. game, so it's daytime, which is just often a factor. The heat and the sun in Hard Rock Stadium is a nightmare. Like it can be just so depleting for the opposition. But you'd have to say, based on everything we've seen and heard from the Dolphins, that the Pats can do this.
They've got it. I can't see the Dolphins. Like, after what we saw last week, I can't see the Dolphins. Starts? Oh, well, Tua's going to start. But if he gets benched again, like, we're going to have a big segment on the Dolphins next week.
Could be a half-an-hour episode on the Dolphins, which no one will listen to. Broncos,
but we'd really enjoy it.
I think you would most.
Yeah, I would love it.
Broncos at the Colts. Now, I put this in because Danny Dimes looked incredible.
And like Bo Nix and the Broncos versing the Titans, which we said, like, you know, Cam Ward's going to take a few games or weeks to get into his stride. Actually looked pretty decent and scored a field goal in his first drive. Like, that is an impressive thing to do as a rookie QB in the NFL. And that was against this Broncos team, which everyone's talking about, that they're going to be taking that next step and go even deeper and further in the playoffs. I'm still going to take the Broncos because I love me some Bo Nix, and I haven't fully bought into the Colts or Danny Dimes. But this is a big game now for the Broncos, which prior to last week, I wouldn't have been saying it was.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. But the Broncos, it's entirely possible that this week the Broncos look more like what the Broncos are meant to look like. That really had a week one knocking the rust off vibe about it. And I think there's a chance they're playing it in another gear up, whereas I don't think the Colts have that other gear to go to.
That was in sixth.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I think this is a big, and it might sound stupid, it sounds fine in my head saying it, but a big game for the Broncos if the Chiefs lose. 0-2 Chiefs, if they're 2-0, that's...
It's a great spot to be this early in the season.
Yeah, but like, get that little bit of a buffer because I know the Chiefs got a back end of the season, it's a bit easier. Yeah, if they can get a little bit of a rust, and then it's them and Chargers really for the title, which is huge.
Absolutely massive.
Last one, Chargers-Raiders, which is Chargers at Raiders, which is the 12 o'clock game Monday Night Football for us Tuesday.
Once again, the AFC West that we're just talking about there, fascinating division. It's going to be fun all season. That's going to be an interesting game. I mean, you lean towards the Chargers based on what we saw from them out of Sao Paulo last week. But the Raiders have definitely got something. They are definitely ahead of schedule of what you'd expect. And now, admittedly, it's not like your classic rebuild. Normally, it's a first-time coach, and they got one good draft pick, but they've got no line or whatever.
Genty looked good.
Genty looked good, and they look like they can play ball, and they are a well-coached football team. And
Brock Bowers is still him too.
Brock Bowers is incredible. Like, this Raiders, it's nice. I love being excited to be able to talk about the Raiders because it's been years. It's been years where we haven't been able to, like, every time any team was playing the Raiders, you're probably going to get this done. But the fact that we're even talking about the Chargers, who were dominant last week against the Chiefs, having a competitive game against the Raiders, I think that's great. That is great for football.
After that game, if the Broncos win and the Chargers beat the Raiders, but it's close and it's a competitive game, and the Chiefs lose, that whole division is a new story now. That is such a change because for a long time, Chiefs didn't have to even think about the Raiders.
Is it like 11 in a row or 12 in a row?
Division.
Chiefs have done it.
So
that's what I was saying before. Like, it's huge. If they go 0-2,
that's right. The conversation.
This is on you.
The conversation could be changing.
Yeah. I think Chargers will be the ones to beat if that's the case. But the Raiders, I think it's a close game. I think Gino looked happy and comfortable there. I think he's done better than Darnold did going to the Seahawks. So, Bowers looks good. Genty, it was a good start for him. So, Max looked good on the defense. I think that's going to be a cracking game to finish.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be a huge week too, and we're going to have so many storylines that are going to be able to come out of this week as well. Like, do we have an 0-2 Chiefs? Do we have a completely AFC West division? Is there only one team left in the AFC East? Like we just like there's so many there's so many stories that we're going to have coming out of this week, and it's just.
Let's hope week 2 is as big as week 1.
I think it's going to be. It's going to have to be just purely for the storylines.
I could do with a less close game this week. I might physically. I'm not sure I could take a close game with the Jets.
The old ticker. Charles, this is when we say goodbye to you. Let's hope, like I said, an incredible week 2 for all of us, because it's time for the Any Given Sunday First Down Friday, powered by our good friends at Unibet, Danny.
Yes, and if you want to see any of our odds, any of our bets, hit us up. Get our link for Unibet. We've got some exclusive markets that are purely powered by Unibet for us and for all you at home.
That's our clubhouse picks too that you can find on there. So we go and pick 5 or 6 different games. Get in there, check out the clubhouse picks, and you'll see what we're seeing when it comes to those games. Last week, Danny, you were very stiff on your First Down Friday.
AJ Brown absolutely killed me. Like, that bet was home and hosed, apart from that final leg. After the first quarter, we were done. I was sitting there laughing. We were sitting in the pub having a few. I thought I was cashing that slip straight away. And that's how it should be for the First Down Friday, but unfortunately missed by one leg, which puts the ball in your court.
And then my Hail Mary, which was paying $46, and I picked the game of the year, which happened to be, good for me because there was touchdowns and everything. But I missed by 2 legs. A Mark Andrews touchdown, which we said in our preview was a glorified left tackle. So I don't know why the hell I put him in there.
You need to listen to yourself.
Oh, no, I got to. And I didn't have D-Hop in there. That was stupid. And Lamar, over 225, had 209 the start of the last quarter and didn't get it.
So we're starting this, where our little friendly competition that we're having between each other, we're starting at 0-0, which is quite nice.
We're back to week 1.
Yeah, we're back to week 1. We're starting again. But
Packers, Commanders, so it's my First Down Friday this week. This is what I'm going with. Now, Deebo Samuel had 7 catches for 70 yards last week, so I think putting him in for 30 is relatively safe. Jaden Reed, he was the Packers' most targeted wide receiver, so again, 30 yards, nice and safe. Zach Ertz. Now, the Packers gave up a lot of yards to Sam Laporta last week, so 20 yards for him, I think, is right on the button. And Josh Jacobs is an absolute beast, so 75-plus rushing and receiving yards. That hits every single game. $3 for this one, Danny boy. I'm not sure this one's missing.
Oh, there's no chance I'm going to see that losing. It's something I really don't want to say, but that First Down Friday, that's the whole point of it. It should be a nice little safe bet to kickstart the weekend, so you got a little money in the bank.
And especially with a couple of big games coming on the Monday, mate, it just have us primed.
Oh, just wait till you see my Hail Mary Monday, mate. We're going to finish this week 1-1, which will be perfect.
Yeah, the 1-1. Our bank accounts will be different. Nice. Huge week, mate. And like I said, like you said, hit us up for our links, and you'll find all of our clubhouse picks there, and I can't wait.
Go Birds.